Hello, welcome to the CRL Show. I'm Paul Arandale.
I'm Geoff Stevenson.
Another big one coming your way. We'll go through all the grand finals that happened over the weekend. We'll preview what's happening this weekend. Also, we've got tries of the week, big hits of the week, and heaps more on this edition of the CRL Show. Yeah, thanks for joining us. Geoff, welcome back firstly.
I'm back. I'm alive. Look, I didn't realise I was going to do it and it was going to last this long, but I'll tell you. We'll first start off with Nyngan. The Nyngan Tigers won the reserve grade out the Peter McDonald Premiership. Yep. My God, that town has gone nuts. If you look on their socials, how many shops and stuff had banners and things around the traps. I read probably this time last week, earlier in the week, that Nyngan RSL said that if you walked in, up until Friday, you walk in wearing your Tigers gear, they give you a free schooner. So I quickly got all Tigers gear. I got all of the disguises I could think of, and I was in and out that door so much. Suddenly I was waking up in a paddock somewhere near Larkin Oval. I didn't know what had happened, but full credit to the RSL club. That's a big. I've never seen a club be so willing to give away free beer. But I'm sorry about that. Free beer does take precedence over certain things, but I'm glad to be back. And credit to Nyngan. I know we're going early with the chat about rugby league, but the Nyngan Township is absolutely still buzzing from their win a couple of weeks ago. Yeah,
and we touched on the first grade grand final, extra time, nail biter.
Cracker. I was a long time listener, first time watcher of the show last week. Yeah, and you did a cracker of an effort without me. I mean, makes me realise I'm not pretty superfluous here. Not required, but the highlights. Holy moly!
Yeah, some great
grand finals last week, and then it's happening again this week, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. There's some great grand finals all around the country.
Yeah, absolutely. We may as well get into some results on the weekend. Yeah. We'll start off with the prelims, and we'll get into the grand finals at the end. So Newcastle prelim final, an absolute belter up there at Curry Sports Ground. Cessnock 26-24 over Western Suburbs. They'll meet Maitland next week in the grand final. So Scotland has the Old Firm derbies. I know we have the Coalfields derby between Cessnock and Curry, but I reckon we call Cessnock Maitland the Old Firm. Yeah, maybe. Those two.
For sure. And I don't know what others would think, but I didn't see Cessnock as being a grand final team going into the season. No disrespect to them. There are a lot of contenders for that. I did see Maitland getting there, but it'd be great.
I think my early picks, I didn't even have Cessnock in the 5. It's a wonder Harry Sakey didn't bring that up actually to me.
But having said
thank God, not many people knew about that.
No, I didn't see why I'm going so far and all these other sort of things that have happened throughout the year. So, it's going to be a great grand final. Maitland, they feel like that Penrith of the comp in just being so dominant over the years, but also almost like the NRL at the moment, coming back to the field a little bit like the Penrith team have. So it'll be interesting to see whether they can continue the dynasty.
Yeah. Other ones, Group 9 prelim, Gundagai booked their spot in the grand final after a 32-20 win over Young. They'll meet the Kangaroos next week. Yeah,
again, Young, I thought mid-season were going to be an ace for the grand final, and Gundagai just hummed along. Seemed to be a lot throughout the country, teams that were sitting second and third on the ladder that have done either won the grand final or progressed into the grand final comfortably. So it's interesting, these teams that have... there are some teams that are undefeated. I might actually canvass some next week where they're undefeated. They've lost 1 or 2 games all year, and one of those games is a grand final. So they've sort of dominated and then just fallen at the last hurdle, which must be devastating for those teams. But Young's one of them. I thought they'd be there for sure.
Central Coast prelim, Queanbeyan defeating Erina 18-6. It was... if Erina had got there, it would have been 3 years in a row that Erina and Tukley had met in the grand final. But the Colts are there, led by Matt Moylan, Josh Starling and Andrew Fafita.
Yeah, they're the star team, aren't they? I was thinking that there's sort of that team that have probably, and all's fair, they've probably got more bums on seats this year, I reckon, down that way. I'd say even if they're playing away, if you're playing against your local team, you'd probably go there to watch Kingumba play just to see a bit of Moylan magic and, a bit of the other forward, pretty dominant, pretty powerful forward pack. Yeah, no, it should be a good grand final there on Saturday. Yeah, I just had to get my dates right. Yeah, George Took prelim final. Harden booked their spot, defeating Burra 38-26. Young man, we might have a try from him later on in the tries of the week. Oz Power picked up a couple in that one, but wasn't enough for the Rovers. It'll be the Hawks taking on Bungendore Tigers next week in the George Took. Yeah, and Burra were probably one of those teams that had not undefeated, but had lost very few games going into the semi-finals and are now, their season's done. So, yeah, good on Harden, though. They've been playing really hard all year. And, it's been a very, very, the George Took Shield has been very competitive. It was hard to pin down what team you thought just stood out amongst at least Harden, Burra and Crookwell up there as well. Yeah, exactly, yeah. So, it'll be a great finish coming up to that comp. All right, I'll keep going, mate, if you want me to. Yeah, Group 7, Week 2. Albion Park defeated Gerringong, ended the Lions season with a 36-16 win, and Kiama booked their spot in the grand final, defeating Shell Harbour 22-16. It was a funny one. I thought, I looked at Gerringong, just checked the scores early in the game. Gerringong were up pretty comfortably. I think, were they 16-0 up from memory? Yeah, they looked like, I kind of looked and thought, oh, okay, looks like Gerringong's going to win the game, but the mighty Eagles came back. Yeah, good result for them. Gold Coast prelim, that was a tight one. Tugun and Currumbin, they've always been tight, these two. 19-18 in favour of Tugun, the blue part of the Gold Coast. Their neighbours, now they'll take on Burleigh in the final. They're very close, Currumbin, Tugun and Burleigh. Yeah, I was going to say, Currumbin and Tugun must be just like you can walk from one to the other, and that'll make for an interesting grand final. Yep. BRL saw Carina book their spot in the grand final, 23-22 win over West Brisbane, and I think it's the first time in a long time that the Panthers haven't been at the grand final. But credit to Carina, and it'll be a big finish up there for what is a very long season for the Brisbane comp. We'll move into some of the there's grand finals, the Ron Massey Cup and Sydney Shield. This first one went into extra time, Wentworthville defeating Manly Leagues 25-24, and in the other one, the Ron Massey Cup, St Mary's 34-22 over Wentworthville. A few sort of ex-NRL players who were in those games. I think it was Jennings and Bryce Cartwright in St Mary's. Which is good to see. And funnily, we didn't really talk about it, but Bryce Cartwright got to be one of the first players to leave an NRL team mid-season to join a Ron Massey or team or lower grade team, but he had sought a release mid-season, which I think is a credit to him. Shows a bit of commitment. He could have just kind of had the rest of the season off. He could have played reserves for Parramatta, but he decided, I want to finish the season with a team who's going places, and interesting sort of off topic, sort of. Well, it's rugby league show, but Super League expanding to 14 teams. They're allowed a few more international players. Bryce's father, John, coaches Hull. Bryce might find himself over there in the early birds next year. And I think I've said before about expansion in these bigger comps. We've got the NRL expanding over the next couple of years, Super League expanding. If you're sort of like a 20, 21-year-old too, you might be, the flag players we're watching right now, a bit younger than that, but those players in a couple of years' time, they're going to be on the, on the radar of a lot of these expansion teams, because everyone talks about the high-profile players, but they've got to fill their squads. And, it'll be interesting getting up to talking about Flegg in a second, but, a lot of those Flegg players that are starring at the moment, I'd say there's a lot of scouts watching BarTV, getting some ideas about who might fit into their lineups, especially, Western Reds, the Western Reds, what are they? Western Bears. Perth Bears. Perth Pumas. Perth Pumas, and PNG as well. The PNG team might be looking at some younger guys that are more willing to have a crack at living abroad. I don't think PNG is going to happen, but anyway, I'll be wrong. Another show.
Yeah, that's
I'm interested to hear your thoughts on
Send
that.
your hate mail to someone who cares. Knock-on effect, Cup Week 2, we saw the Dragons defeat the Warriors 24-10 and Parramatta 36-30 over Canberra. We'll keep going. We'll go on to the Jersey Flegg Week 2. Melbourne 38-10 over Cronulla and Penrith 32-18 over Canberra. You want to do the Harvey Norman? I can do...
Yeah, Harvey Norman. And they're sort of heading... Was this the final round?
Yes.
Yeah, final round of Harvey Norman. Cronulla defeated Central Coast 20 points to 10. Illawarra defeated Wentworthville 26 points to 12. Penrith comfortable against Canterbury 26-12. Mounties defeated South 28-10. The Tigers defeated Para in a close one 28-24. And the Knights defeated St George 32 points to 10.
Yeah, a winning team for the Red and Blues. Newcastle Knights, minor premiers, the Harvey Norman Premiership.
It's fantastic to be around a winning team in Newcastle right now because it's all too rare in that particular comp. Or in those colours. But no, good on them. And you look at the NRL women's comp, there's a lot of focus on it, but these, Harvey Norman Premiership is the engine for that. You really can't have a NRL women's comp without the Harvey Norman Premiership and the players doing their thing there.
Yeah, so the semi-finals will be this weekend. But, we'll get into some of the grand finals now for you. We'll show some highlights. So this will extend a bit. But Newcastle and Hunter grand finals, the second division around this area, they had, lots and lots of grand finals, two fields, big crowd. They were hoping for around 11,000 to 12,000 people to come through the gates. Now, how that works is the crowds come and go. They come and support their little town. Off they go back to the pub, celebrate or commiserate. The next crew come in to watch there. It's phenomenal, as I say. Get to a Newcastle Hunter grand final. They're worth
1 year I want to go, and I just want to, whoever wins, I'll pick one team to go with. So I'll be just like, Karua looks like they're having a good time after winning that. Let's go to Karua kind of thing. Because you can just sit back and watch, can't you? The crowds. And as they disappear, you think, I wonder what it would be like at Hinton or wherever it is at the pub tonight after they've won the comp. Could be fun. Okay, we'll head there. So, it's a party that extends throughout the valley.
Well, normally what happens when you get around late in the afternoon, the A-grade game hasn't really kept the crowd. But this year, Waratah and Dudley both have big supporter bases. The crowd hung around on that A-grade. And then on the other field, you have West Wallsend, who have an even bigger fan base probably than those two I just mentioned, against Kersley, who bring a lot of ex-Cessnock people down. As I said, a massive crowd there on the two fields.
And they always seem to run out of beer about 4 in the arvo. Did that happen again?
I don't know. But,
which is, 11,000 people. You get so many beers.
That's the thing too. Like, everyone behaved. There was no trouble or anything, which is fantastic.
No. And that's it. You've got these teams winning comps and losing comps at the same time, and then the next crew come through. The poor losing teams have to kind of just leave the field and go off and commiserate. So it must be hard for them because, they're watching the opposition celebrate and then they're like, okay, off we go, next game. So anyway, great day. Yeah,
apparently I'll get through. There was a good sledge too.
Nice.
I'll get to it shortly.
Sledge,
So the results, Raymond Terrace won Ladies League Tag C, defeating Swansea 12-8. In the Women's Tackle Cup, it went to Cessnock 14-12 over Stockton. And then we got the men's C grade, Karua 34-28 over Stockton. Great story about Karua. It's probably 5 or 6 years ago. They won their first trophy in about 50 years.
Yeah.
And now they've won 2 trophies in the last, I want to say 5 or 6 years. It's a great effort for a small town.
Yeah, I love community comps. And another Karua story is that, I think the hooker or maybe one of the halves maybe, it was a teacher's aide at the local primary school.
Yeah.
And again, on the socials, there's footage, there's shots of Karua, the whole school. They said, come in, red and white. I don't think there was a kid that wasn't wearing not just red and white, a Karua bit of merchandise or something, and they just said that this little school was beside itself. That they weren't just going to watch a game; they're going to watch Mr. I lost his name, but Mr. Such and Such, playing for Karua. So just awesome. Love that.
Well done to Karua. Here's Shortland went down to University 26-0. So close to full time. The ground announcer puts over the PA. people, please don't run onto the field.
Yeah.
University supporter comes out with a sledge to the Shortland supporters. Well, no one from Shortland's going to run out in the field. They haven't been out there all game. I thought that was quite good.
Nice, yeah.
Thanks, Justin, for sharing me that one. I thought that was a ripper.
That's very good.
We've got the A grade now. I've lost my glasses and I can't see anything right in front of me. Thanks, mate. Waratah defeated Dudley in the A grade men's 24-8. Thanks, mate. So that was a ripper of a game too. Yep. Waratah also won the Ladies League Tag B grade 7-6 over Aberglasslyn. And they picked up the trifecta, winning the Ladies League Tag A grade 16-12 victors over Central. In the women's plate, Nelson Bay Bandits 16-4 over Malabula, and Malabula went down in the men's D grade Northern Conference, going down to Clarencetown 30-22. The whole town of Clarencetown turned up for that one.
Yeah.
And then the ground looked empty, and then all the West Wallsend Kersley supporters rolled in for the D grade South final, which Kersley won 30-14.
Wow, God, what a day, hey?
Oh, a massive day. And you know, the community. Oh, sorry, the committee that run the Newcastle and Hunter, all volunteers. A lot of them would not have seen any of the action. They would have been either serving beer or helping out at the barbecue.
Just coordinating the teams. You'd have to right, okay, where are you going to warm up? Okay, these guys need to get out of here now. We've got to get these guys into the dressing rooms. Full credit. Referees, it's a big day. I wouldn't be surprised if the refs ran lines in one game and then referee one and maybe ran lines in another or something just to get through the games with enough referees. So, it's fantastic.
All right, mate. We're extended results version now. We're going to show some highlights. We've got the Canberra Rugby League Grand Final between old rivals Queanbeyan Blues and the Roos. There's 5 Grand Finals on the day. Now, originally, these were the Canberra Rugby League Grand Finals were set for Sunday. But then Canberra Raiders threw a spanner in the works, winning the minor premiership, which meant their semi-final, their game against Brisbane was on the Sunday. Yeah. So Canberra Rugby League had to move to Saturday, which threw a massive spanner in the works for everyone down there organising. Yeah. But at least people in Canberra had an opportunity to see both grand finals. Both games, I should say. But, it was Ladies League Tag kicked things off with a win 12-0 over Wadham Valley, Gungahlin, winning the prize there. Under-19s, Goulburn City, 22-4 over Gungahlin. West Belconnen, 40-6 over Belconnen United in the Katrina Fanning Shield. Reserve grade was a real tight one, but Gungahlin got the win, 14-4 over Yass. And then first grade, seesawed throughout this game, Blues and the Roos. We're going to show you the highlights for you very shortly. 28-26, the Blues getting the win over the Roos. Here's the highlights with James Sully Sullivan on the mic calling this one.
Underneath, Murray looked right, goes left. McLaughlin puts boot in the ball. Is it too deep? The race for McLaughlin scores! McLaughlin, great hands, Connor Williams, and slices through the gap. And another one comes, puts a kick through. Jack Anderson's there. Kane scores! Williams, they go to Cooper. Cooper for the line. He reloaded and does score. Wide pass, McLaughlin, wider for Williams. Williams goes. Oh, he couldn't hang on to the pass. Worst off, Thompson. He's played the footy. The bounce is key. Still going, Lucas Thompson. Got Jesse Dent with him. Jesse Dent will find Rob Sheffield. And Rob Sheffield will score. A metre away. Last tackle, Quinlan. Goes to Williams. Williams will kick it across the face. Rob Sheffield goes up. Back inside for Lucas Thompson. And Thompson does score. Murray. McLaughlin. McLaughlin's going to put boot to ball, Leota. All he's got to do is catch and score. Ingram goes wide for Williams. He'll look inside. He's got Hitchcock. And that's where they go. Bailey Hitchcock for the line. He's going to put the kick high in the air. Down they come and do score. Anderson. McLaughlin wants it. Gets it. Now look, shimmies off the right, still going, McLaughlin reaches out! Cometh the hour! Cometh the Dan! He started it! He finishes it! Dylan McLaughlin! Now moves in. Cody Flags in the air! Blues have hit the front. The kick-off, it's been taken. Jacob John, they get on it, it's been knocked on. That'll be full time. What a thriller!
Illawarra also had their grand finals at Wynn Stadium. It was actually 4 games. It was a Harvey Norman Premiership game on beforehand. They slotted that one in before third grade. But in the thirds, Avondale Greyhounds 32-18 over the Fig Tree Crushers. In reserve grade, Western Suburbs Devils 22-10 over the Avondale Wombats. And then in first grade, another ripper of a game going to extra time, 14-8 West over Collies. Johnny Pett called this one.
Left-hand side, Chisholm steps off the left, steps off the right, tries to push off one. He does that, only Gromek to beat, puts it on the boot. Joey Dixon's chasing, he's got the 4-pointer. Last tackle, Blair Grant goes high, chases her on. This will be interesting at the back. Balder takes it, but Nick Hall gets it. They're back in the game, the Dogs. Collegians from the Dogs. Grant goes crossfield, gets it out the back to Herring. Herring jumping around, looking for runners. Lee looking for a 2-point field goal. Taken high! Penalty to Collegians! No time left on the clock. Off the boot. Where are the touchies? They put the flags up. It's 8-all. No time left on the clock. Are they working for a 1-pointer, the Devils? No, they're going to go to Chisholm on the short side. Chisholm dummies and goes himself. He's into the fresh air. He's going to score a 4-pointer. Dane Chisholm, last year's player of the game, does it all himself there. Oh, Chisholm, he's been sensational today. He laid it on for the first try of the match. And there we see individual brilliance. Full-time siren. Taylor Cleveland blows the whistle. The Devils, they've gone back-to-back. Premiers in 2025.
NRRL Grand Finals at Crozier Park in Lismore. It was a spectacular day up there. It all kicked off with league tag, Tweed Coast 12-10 over Lismore. In the 18s, Mullumbimby 18-6 over Bilambil. Then you have the women's tackle, Northern United 44-6 over Bilambil. Then reserve grade, Bilambil 14-12 over Byron Bay. Bit of a trend, they're all very close, bar the one game. And then first grade, Marist Brothers 20-12 over Murwillumbah. Here's some highlights.
He'll be conjuring up something out here, full of nose, going the other way.
So pulling Ellie to the chest. Here comes Mitch Krause.
There's your man. There's your man.
And with his first touch of the footy. So inside the 10 here, Marist Brothers, Shannon Fuller. Here comes Henry Lee, just short. Mustangs need to hold the line here, literally Benji. Here comes.
See if the defence is still up to it here.
Shannon Fuller. Oh, try! Shannon Fuller! Noah King! Too good! About a metre shot here, the Mustangs. Shannon Gardner, Cade Hill. Finds that one into Bollard. And here comes Blake Marison in the right corner.
Oh, mate, he's found the line. There's that man Bollard again.
Metre shy of the try line, Lockie Adamson. Finds that one up into that. Shannon Gardner crosses the stripe. So they'll play this one 10 away. Fuller! Wrapped it up away.
Fuller!
And Will Wally goes over.
Inside ball!
They can celebrate now, the Rams. And the longest of waits is now over.
There you go.
All right, Sunny Coast. Finally, I think this is the last grand final for this week. Yeah, it all kicked off. A big day of footy. 19s went to Beer, 26-22 over Caloundra. C grade, Caloundra 16-12 over Bribie Island. The women's tackle, Maroochydore 18-0 over Caboolture. Reserve grade, Stanley River 22-12 over Coolum. And then they did the double, 22-20 over Maroochydore. Here's the highlights for you.
Page of tomorrow's paper, Filliger goes down, 11 out. McLaughlin puts it in the air, up she goes. Down they come, Maroochydore have it. Can he get it out the back? He can get it out the back. That'll be a try, I think you'll find. Maroochydore territory, they come right-hand side. Herdigan decides to kick early in the tackle count. Regan Glynn only needs a decent bounce. He got it. Try Wolves. Smoothie back for the kick. Little dab into the in goal. That'll set up nicely. Did he force it in goal? I think they're going to say he did. It'll be a try to Maroochydore. 4 metres out under that left-hand upright. They go short ball left-hand side. Malatoa! Here come the Swans again. Smoothie, right-hand side. Riley Moore with the kick this time. Has there too much on it? Oh, I don't think he got there. They're celebrating the Swans. What's the referee going to say? He's going to say it's a try to the Swans. To the left-hand side for Maroochydore. Dancing, jinking, weaving. Great run. Did he get it down? No. They're going to say he did. He got it down. Regan Glenn, he's got a double. The Wolves are back in the game. Each 20 points to 10. Little bit of extracurricular activities in the tackle there. Erdigan stepping, jinking, weaving and scoring a brilliant solo try. Shut him down 24 metres out. Back to the left-hand side they come, putting it through their hands. That's come off the legs of a Maroochydore player. It's been knocked on. 6 more. Erdigan will bring it around and score to level the grand final. He's done it all himself, the number 6. Well level in the big one. Corey Erdigan does it again. 10 minutes remain. And that will just about be full time. Little bit of a scuffle here. But the referee, is he going to say full time? That will do it.
Unbelievable game, Maroochydore. I think Maroochydore led 20-6 on stage.
Yeah, and considering, like you saw in the highlights there, some of these games have been close and they've been tight finishes at the end. They had 10 minutes of play where there was no scoring at the end. So 22-20 with 10 minutes to go in a grand final, it's a long 10 minutes for both teams. Seriously, you imagine the energy on the field and how gassed they must have been at the end. Great result.
Yeah. All right, they're all the results from the weekend. Now we'll go to the big hits of the week. First up, we got Zach Bailey, the Western Suburbs Devils. He started to go the right way, then just ran into a brick wall called Zach Blay.
Into the tackle, bam.
Next up, Cody Pepperell, the Stockton Sharks. They didn't get the win, but they got a couple of big hits during the day.
He's a big fella too.
Ezekiel Cooper, Tedavano, Roos, reserve grade. Tyrone O'Leary, Burleigh Bears, Douglit Cup. Just the force of the hit there, puff of dust, it's always good to see.
He's trying to get up too. I think he's like, no, I'm not going to let you tackle, I'm going to keep going.
Ben Thomas, Kincumber Colts, first grade.
Davies, inside ball, Tubridy, a good shot, Thomas, big hit.
That's one where the tackler got airborne, which I like. That's a new one for us. But no, that was a great hit.
Yeah, there was certainly some fantastic big hits, some legal, some not legal. We try to always show the legal ones on the CRL. Sometimes some slip through, but if you see them better, let us know and we'd love to share them on our social media pages. But they are our big hits of the week.
And it's kind of funny because when you watch the professional comps, they really get a tight look at what's legal and illegal. The poor refs in these comps, they don't have cameras, bunkers, they're lucky to have touchies close enough to see what's going on. So when you say illegal, sometimes they're like very close, very, very tight, and they just got to make a call on the day.
Yep. Yes, well, moving along, we'll get into around the groups.
Rightio. Now we've got a bit of end of season and a bit of looking forward to next season news, which it's hard to think. The teams. It made me think that these teams that are in hiatus now, it wouldn't be for long before they have to start thinking about next season, maybe sponsors, jerseys, that kind of stuff, and coaches. So Gungahlin, I only caught the news through the week. Gungahlin have announced that Matt Frawley, the former Canterbury, Huddersfield and Canberra halfback, is signed as their captain coach. He is coming straight from Leeds. Leeds is his current club, so he's coming back.
Yeah, interesting. I did see reports that he was going to go somewhere else and coach. Maybe it was at Lamu Grizzlies.
Okay.
Or something. I could be wrong there.
He may have enough time to do both because we've talked about before the French comp, sort of funny, it's in that winter and he may just jump from Lemo or Lemu, I don't know, jump across. So the Wagga captain coach, I can't remember his name, did that this year, and so he may be going via France, which would be.
Look, my intel could be completely
no.
wrong.
I reckon your intel's much better. Who's going to question it, really? So write in and say, no, you're wrong, Paul. No, I reckon he's right. But he's 30 years old.
Yeah.
What I really like is he is going to be captain coach, but he's co-coaching with Josh Hardy, who was the assistant coach this year to Ben Flynn, who was the coach for Gungahlin. So I thought that's a nice approach where you've got a captain coach, but you've also got someone on the sideline. I've always wondered, having never been a captain coach, how easy or difficult it is to be a coach on the field when you're trying to do your thing, play the game. Like, you can't really make calls on substitutions and stuff. You have to rely on someone else. So also it gives Josh Hardy an opportunity to rise up, like he has through the ranks at Gungahlin. So that's that'll be interesting to see what happens with that. I don't know, in your experience, whether signing a high-profile captain coach leads to him attracting a few quality players who would join the club that may never have considered it.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you look at Sam Williams at Queanbeyan Roos.
Yeah.
Brought over Adam Quinlan this year.
Yeah.
And a couple of sort of really other good quality players in there as well.
Yeah, so Gungahlin might have aspirations for
Yeah.
that. They might be aiming pretty high. So, yeah, and it'll just be, like I said, he's still a quality player, but also he's a Canberra local. Well, he's born and bred in Canberra, played for Bell United and then West Bell as a junior. So it's it's a nice fit there. I like it when it's a nice fit with someone who's sort of from the area. Someone saying au revoir. I don't know why he's not going to France, but we've got the French flavour to the show today. Josh McCrone has announced his retirement after a few years at Temora Dragons, formerly at Toronto Wolfpack and various other places. But look, this is a roll gold standard for someone who's returned back to his former junior club. I read something, a yarn with him a few years ago where he went back to Temora and he's got 3 kids who are all playing in lower grades for Temora. He's the local, I think he's an electrician by trade. Yeah. So he's really immersed himself in the community. You can go watch him play. He turns up to all the training sessions for his kids. So they said he was essentially at the club 3, 4 or 5 days a week. Just doing stuff, helping out with the kids. And, if you need a little bit of light switch fixed as well, he could have knocked that up in the clubhouse. So I don't think he's going anywhere, and I really like that as an end to a professional career where you go back to, obviously, and he was actually in this yarn saying, not just rugby league players, people should do this more. Just go out to a local club. If you've got a trade or you just want to see a different part of the world, come out and live in places like Temora. So he's been a credit to their club, and it's a nod to what's been a really good career.
Well done. I reckon that's the first time Toronto Wolfpack's been mentioned on the CRL.
Oh, well, that's what I thought. I looked up and I thought, that's right. He was a Toronto. There aren't that many former Toronto Wolfpack players left out there because of time and stuff like that. And I'll talk maybe next week about some of I really want to canvass some of those teams that don't qualify for the Clayton's Cup who have had outstanding seasons. I might save that for next week because some of them are still yet to. I mean, Burra was one of them. And they've just. It was fun, remarkable about some of these these teams that have won right through the season. A lot of them have then gone on to lose their grand finals, and
it's interesting. It might be a question for someone at New South Wales Rugby League. You mentioned Burra. George Took. It's technically second division of Canberra comp.
Yep.
If any of those teams qualify, and the same as Avondale Greyhounds, technically playing in the third grade of Illawarra, if they qualify, it's just they're a club, they're a team. I think why not?
Well,
they're playing at their highest level.
Exactly, that's what I think. I don't think winning every game, doesn't count if you, depending on what comp you're in or who you play. Good example is St George's Basin, who play in the Reagan Cup, won 12 blot. They did not lose a game this year. And also, are we going to have a women's equivalent?
Yeah.
Because I know the Clayton's Cup has a lot of history around it, and we just follow that history. But why not just start up a new chapter of history and have a women's Clayton's Cup or something?
Maybe we can start it here.
A
bit like the Golden Boot that was started by League Express, and then International Rugby League just we'll
that's
take
right.
that off
The Messenger. What do you call it? The
Well, it's Golden Boot. Oh, well, even that too, wasn't it? The Dalian, that was started by a newspaper,
Yeah, it was pinched. The Immortals were all pinched, so maybe we can we can start something up and ask someone to pinch it from us.
We can... I don't know. Maybe we can give away not the Golden Boot, maybe the Dirty Boot.
The Dirty Boot. But if there is a contender, though,
all sorts of weird, interesting stuff under there.
Paul lives here sometimes under the table, like George Costanza. But if there's a women's contender for the women's, I'll put it out there because there are some close ones.
That episode was just on recently too.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, that's one thing, and we must have watched it the same night.
I didn't really. It didn't appeal to me, that episode, until I got older, and I thought, oh yeah, actually, I really want a desk with a little bed in it that you can disappear into for time and just watch RTV.
People that have never watched Seinfeld are what the.
The Seinfeld podcast will be happening in the off season.
Yeah.
But a contender like Brell and Rams, I think I mentioned before, they won all 7 games they played this year. It was their first year as a team, and they conceded 12 points in total. They conceded 1 try in total. That's like they need to be recognised as something statewide, as something that's pretty outstanding in the Pro 10 Cup women's comp. But even like in league tag, Bongbala, High Heelers, which I love. You know, they won 12 and lost 2 games. Manildra in the women's Woodbridge Cup won 16 games. Okay, they won 16 games and lost 1.
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to say next? They lost that 1 game in the grand final to the Cargo Blue Heelers 12-6.
Wow.
So, but I'll put that out there, see what people think. There might be people that say, I wasn't an exhaustive kind of look by me, so they might say, look, you forgot about this women's team, but why not?
Yeah.
I mean, how hard is it to just say next year we're having the Clayton's Cup for women? I don't know what to call it, but you know, I like the fact that someone can own that and try to find a good name for it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can get a cheap trophy on Temu, so
seriously,
why not? Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, and we await usually the official announcement of the Clayton's Cup seems to happen in a couple of weeks. Time, so we'll await that. And one other thing before I've exhausted my round the groups, the Midwest Cup kicks off this week in Portland, which Portland looks to me like a beautiful little village just on the other side of the Great Dividing Range, and it's a triple header.
Yeah.
So it'll be Warillawang and Kelso, Arkandos, Portland. How am I going?
I don't know. I haven't seen the drill. This is very, as you say, we have a really structured show.
Yeah, I know. I'm just off the top of my head trying to list all the Midwest Cup teams, so I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Not anybody else in the community could do that. Just list all the Midwest Cup teams. So, but anyway, it kicks off in Portland this week. So it's 3 weeks of a 2025 comp kicking off in rugby league.
Nice.
Yeah, fantastic.
Excellent, mate. That's around the groups.
That's around the groups for me. Yeah.
All right. Tries of the week. You've had some spectacular ones. Some decided grand finals. Some set up grand final wins. But and others, there's other ones there that just maybe
look great.
Just set the platform for their season. That's where I'm going. Here are our tries of the week. First up, we've got Clarice Tolley of Mount Pritchard Mounties. Charisse, I should say. And they play almost break down there, and then they go through the hands, and the back row makes a good break. One-handed pass out to a winger. She's still got plenty of work to do. Gets around the defender, very close to the sideline, and comes around a little bit to improve the position. But well done to
she backed herself
Charisse.
there.
Shaquille Saunders, CRL Roos C grade. Chip over the top, gets a friendly bounce. Look at that crowd on the background.
This is to win the game, essentially?
Put them in front.
Yeah.
Made them, I think he gave them about an 8-point lead.
All of Karua there.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
One of your favourites, Austin Power here, Barua Rovers here. They go through the hands, and then Oz Power with the ball now. He's got plenty of work to do. He's beat a couple, gets past another defender, and just that little in and away past his opposite And then
I should say,
coasts.
yeah, baby. But I reckon it'll be his 19th or 20th try of the year, so he's had a great year.
One of the strangest tries I've ever had to call Aidan Story of the Western Suburbs Rosellas. The kick goes through. Aidan picks it up, does the dummy, the flick back to Kevin Nkwama, puts it on the toe. Witters kicks through, hits the fence as he bats it back. Aidan Story.
There's points there where I thought it's a typo, this isn't a try, and then I saw the finish.
And this one, Dylan McLaughlin, Queanbeyan Blues. This wins the grand final for the Blues. Fantastic.
How good is that? You imagine the story. And again, I say it, I'm glad these things are filmed, because how could he describe that to someone who didn't go to the game? Like if it wasn't on BarTV, it's like, you wouldn't believe what happened.
It's I mean, he has a lethal right foot step, Dylan McLaughlin. The beauty of working at BarTV, you get to watch obviously a lot of bush footy games, and you see some players, and just every week he puts on that step, and any team looking for a halfback, maybe he's quite comfortable. I'm sorry, Queanbeyan Blues, but
we're trying to shop out your player.
Yeah,
but
it's our off-season show, the transfer window.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this weekend's fixtures. A few more grand finals happening on BarTV. What have we got on Saturday? I've jumbled these up a bit, Geoff, so bear with me. Saturday, Gold Coast Grand Finals. I wish competitions would start talking to other competitions, because you got Gold Coast and Brisbane on the same day. Bloody stupid, guys.
Yeah.
Let's talk to each other. Split them up next year or have them on different weekends. It's dumb. Yeah. Anyway, Gold Coast, Saturday, 18s, Bow Desert v Currumbin at 10:30. Then you got the 20s, Burleigh v Runaway Bay at 12. Reserve grade, Mudgee Bar v Burleigh at 2. And first grade, Burleigh v Tugun at 4 p.m.
That will be a cracker, and a great timing again. That sort of later game, so if anyone's out watching other games or something on Saturday, you can come home and flick on BarTV and watch a grand final. Yeah. Should we go to Brisbane?
Yes.
Yeah, Brisbane grand final. We've got the reserves, Carina and Brighton at 1 o'clock. And then first grade, Redcliffe versus Carina, which will be a cracker of a game. I think probably a lot of people think Redcliffe are going to get there in the end, but it's going to be closer than that, I think.
Yeah, Brighton's Redcliffe's reserve grade in that comp, so it's technically those
Carina
two
versus Brighton versus Redcliffe versus Carina.
But two different teams there. I think it was West and Wynnum previous few years.
Yeah,
so.
And Carina will be buoyed by last week's win. I mean, that happens in semi-finals. They've all come off wins, but I think they'll feel like I know if the nerves don't get to them, they'll have a real shot at it.
All right, where are we off to next? We have Central Coast Grand Final, 6 games. That's a massive day down there. Just spare a thought for volunteers.
8:40 a.m. Is that what I'm reading that right?
And so that means probably your volunteers are there at 6, maybe even earlier.
Jesus Christ, good on you guys.
So it kicks off the Ladies League tag, Terrigal v Erina at 8:40 a.m. Then we've got the 19s, Erina v Kincumber at 10. Open men's, Wyong v Kincumber, 11:35. Women's tackle, Wyong v Budgewoi at 1:10. Then reserve grade at 2:45, their entrance v Wyong. Finally, first grade, kicking off at 4:30, Toukley v Kincumber. And if more than one of those games go into extra time, who knows what time
I hadn't
that
thought of that. I'm
off.
guessing they're going to flick the lights on at some stage in the late afternoon, but if not, we might be playing in the dark. But look, at least come Saturday, it doesn't matter essentially pretty much what time you wake up, you could just put on the Central Coast Grand Final, there'll be footy on.
And if it goes an extra time, you can flick it on later. And
I know, I'm hoping I'll be awake just to see the tag game, because that's quite early for me on a Saturday. But anyway, I'll give it a lash, set the alarm. Right, where are we off to now?
We're on the Sundays now, I think.
Sunday, so looking at George Took Shield maybe.
Okay.
And looking at we've got the tag game at 1 o'clock. Oh, that's a Saturday game. So I've probably gone down the right track.
That's all right. Yeah, that's good. Yep.
So Saturday at 1 o'clock, we've got Harden taking on Crookwell, which will be good. Crookwell, we're really hoping to get the grand final, didn't quite get there, so they can go support their tag team. And in the men's, Bungendore, very strong team this year, taking on Harden Saturday at 2:30.
Yeah, no, there's some. There'll be some good games. Out at, I think it's called Mixed Shirt Oval, Bungendore. They set up a scaff for our camera operator, and it looks fantastic.
Good on them. Yeah, I can't wait to watch it.
All right, Sunday grand finals, Newcastle Rugby League grand final at Hunter Stadium. Kicks off 9:45 of the under-19s, Souths v Wests. Reserve grade, Maitland v Lakes at 11:30. Women's tackle, Northern Hawks v Maitland at 1:30. Then first grade, Maitland v Cessnock at 3 p.m, the Old Firm.
Yeah, the Old Firm. We've got to give it a name. I mean, there's got to be more of these names because I think you're right. You've got grudge matches. There's always sort of those local derbies and stuff, but they don't have that gravitas. But
we'll invent things and make things up, and
we'll say it out loud long enough, someone might listen.
Yeah.
Group 9 grand final. This will be a big day as well, considering first game, tag, Temora playing Wagga Brothers at 9:30 a.m. That's the league tag. At under 18s at 10:45, the Kangaroos are playing Cootamundra. Women's tackle, Estella Storm are playing Young at 12 o'clock. Then at 1:10, reserves are Albury Thunder playing the Kangaroos. Kangaroos well represented on the day. And in first grade, the Wagga Kangaroos are up against Gundagai at 2:30. It will be a cracker.
Yeah, sure. And well done to Estella Storm. I think they've just got a women's program out there and some juniors. So
yeah.
It might even be their first year. If it's not their first year, it's...
I was watching them early in the year, and I think it's early days, at least, in the team. And it's full credit. They're there on grand final day, and, hopefully they get a big crowd.
Yep, where are we off to next? We're just going through this, so this random list, sorry guys. Group 7 preliminary final, Shell Harbour Sharks hosting the Albion Park Seagulls. The winner will take on Kiama next week. Shell Harbour, I think Group 7 has discarding Gerringong for a moment, that the teams who are minor premiers have dropped 2 games. I think Shell Harbour might have done it last year or the year before. I was going to
say to you, like, is this who do you pick for this game? But Albion Park, another one where I wouldn't have thought they were going to be a grand final team, no disrespect, but they're one win away.
Yeah.
Be interesting. Harvey Norman Premiership, we're into the semi-finals now, and we've got on Saturday at 11 a.m, Mounties are playing Cronulla, and on Saturday at 3, the Knights are up against Illawarra.
Yeah, it's a big day. I think it's a Jubilee Oval. I should know this, but you've got the 2 Harvey Norman Premiership semi-finals, then the Jersey Flegg and knock-on effect prelim finals. Jersey Flegg, so Jersey Flegg prelim finals, Cronulla v Penrith, that's at 1 o'clock, followed by the knock-on effect cup prelim between the Warriors and Parramatta. That's at 5 o'clock. The winner takes on the Dragons in the New South Wales Cup.
Fantastic. And then other grand finals around the traps. Group 3, I've got my Old Bar shirt on today representing Old Bar. It's interesting because I wouldn't... it's one of those I wouldn't have picked kind of days, but Port Sharks were dominant all year, and you would think at the end of the semi-final series they'd be hosting the grand final, but they've lost enough games and Old Bar won enough games in the semi-finals that Old Bar are hosting the grand final against Port Sharks Sunday at 3:30. That will be a cracker. Yeah. It's a great ground there. It's another one of the graveyards from around the graveyards from around the state, around the country, and they'll get a big crowd there. And if anyone's going, get the meat patty rolls. They are fantastic.
Yeah.
They actually store them in gravy. I think I've told you before. Like, all meat should be stored in gravy from this moment on. It's so good.
Pertec Park last Sunday at Singleton. Sausage Singers up there.
Oh, really?
In gravy. She said, do you want ones with gravy or gravy?
Yeah, that's when they ask that question, you kind of look at them like, does anyone ever say no? I thought they might have run out, though, up there. Like there was a big crowd up that way.
It was a massive crowd up there. Yeah.
Full credit to them.
Was it Group 20 preliminary final? Griffith Waratah Tigers take on Hay Magpies Sunday, 3 o'clock. Those 2 games, I should say, not on BarTV.
No.
As far as we know.
Yep. At this moment.
But if you're from those groups or teams and you're watching this, get in touch with BarTV. It's not too hard to set up.
Make it happen really quick. And, Hay Magpies, another community that are behind their team this year, punching above their weight I don't think it's disrespectful to say to get to this point. So, but Griffith Waratahs are one of those teams that were looking at a Clayton's Cup halfway through the year too. So it'll be a cracker of a game.
Yeah. All right. That's pretty much it, isn't it?
I think so. It's just like another 3-hour episode because I can't shut up. So,
that's all right.
It's that time of year, isn't it? Like there's so much stuff. I thought I feel sad that I can't talk about all of the teams and all the communities. You could do a whole show on how communities celebrated either grand final victories or their teams making the grand final. There's a lot of stuff going on out there. It's fantastic, but we can't really talk all day. People will get bored.
But this is the time of year where it would be hard to get a tradie to do a job because a lot of footballers are tradies. They're Mad Mondays. They'll take a week or two off.
Or you got a tradie and he said, "I'll do it later in the arvo," and he turns up dressed like Luigi out of the Mario Brothers or something, and you're like, "What the?" He's, I just had my silly Sunday. I'm just still coming straight from it, kind of thing. But there was some great. You could do a whole show on Mad Mondays and Silly Sundays. There's some great stuff happening out there. But anyway,
maybe we could do some live crosses or something.
Yes,
yeah,
that'd be great.
Fantastic.
We could follow one right through. That'd be all for part of the show. Claim it on tax.
All right, that's the CRL show. All over for another week. Thanks for joining us. If you can't get to a game, make sure you tune in and watch them on BarTV. We'll see you next week.
Cheers.